Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new Ninjago video here on the channel. My name is TannerFishies. In today's video, we are going to be discussing my updated thoughts on Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2, now that the season has actually been released officially, and I've watched it all the way through again for the 5th time. And obviously, be sure to support this season on Netflix officially if you can. That is the only way to ensure that we get more Dragons Rising content in the future. And also, this video will contain spoilers for Season 2 Part 2 as well as my own personal opinions, so be warned, spoilers and opinions are ahead. So like I said, I just got done rewatching the entirety of Season 2 Part 2 again, and after I watched it the first time a few months ago, once all of the episodes leaked online early, I had some thoughts, some critiques. Not everything I said about Season 2 Part 2 was positive. I felt like there were definitely some problems, and after rewatching it again, I still feel like those problems are very apparent and very prevalent throughout Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2. To me, it felt like the writing this time around was not as strong as previous Dragons Rising installments, and when you combine everything about Dragons Rising so far, Season 1 Parts 1 and 2, and Season 2 Parts 1 and 2, Season 2 Part 2 is still by far my least favorite part of Dragons Rising, at least so far. It's most certainly not bad by Ninjago standards. It's nowhere near as terrible as some of the worst Ninjago installments out there. It's not even that bad by comparison. There are a lot of good things going on here, but I still don't really care for this chapter of Ninjago as much as other installments of Dragons Rising, again, mainly because of the writing. It still feels like a lot of what was set up in Season 2 Part 1 is just kind of abandoned here in favor of going off on this little side quest with the Tournament of the Sources. And they try their best to make it work in the context of the show, but it felt like LEGO was really demanding a tournament season, some type of tournament arc, and the writers were just like, okay, sure, how do we tie it into what we already set up in Season 2 Part 1? Well, by completely abandoning everything and ignoring all consequences. Suddenly the Blood Moon just has no relevance at all, but we still need Lord Rast to be red, so let's just have him turn red when he gets angry now, I guess, even though that was not what was established in Season 2 Part 1. And those are just a few examples of how a lot of what was set up is just kind of abandoned here in favor of going off again on this little tournament side quest. It kind of felt like the Tournament of the Sources was forced in here. We did not really need the tournament, at least not this soon, but again, it kind of just felt like a mandated thing from someone higher up. With that being said, the tournament itself I do like, despite the fact that, again, we have a rigged tournament going on here. I liked seeing all of the different elemental masters, all the different powers, the battles between the ninja and other masters. Again, it could have been a lot better and less rigged. I am still waiting for a full, honest tournament arc for Ninjago, because of the two that we have, both featured rigged tournaments. And all things considered, I do really enjoy the tournament stuff going on here. I still think Season 4, the Tournament of Elements, is the better season, but in terms of the better tournament, I gotta admit, I do quite like the Tournament of the Sources, and if it was set up even more to be an honest tournament outside of everything else going on in Season 2 Part 2, I probably would have preferred it a lot more. It just kind of felt like the tournament arc was here too soon. I am still also not a huge fan of the mystery aspect of Season 2 Part 2, and I've already done countless videos talking about how the plot twists, if you will, don't necessarily work, because obviously we knew that Blecht was going to be evil, and obviously Noct and his sister were the ones that killed the dragons and stole their horns. All of the mystery stuff doesn't really work, because again, we know the answers right away, and all of the buildup is just kind of time wasted in my opinion. I've also been super critical over the handling of Jay in this season, where he just kind of shows up with no context whatsoever and no build-up. Again, almost as if there was a mandate for Jay to be there, but the writing team did not have enough time to properly build it up. I feel like that's a pretty big problem with Season 2 Part 2 overall. There isn't really any build-up, and for the build-up that was established in Season 2 Part 1, that's just kind of ignored here. I am a big fan of some characters during this season. I loved that Sora won the tournament. That's who I wanted to win. Even though her win was kind of like a technicality or whatever, she did not win properly because of course it was not a fair tournament. I still really enjoy the idea of Sora being crowned the winner. I think that's amazing for her character. I'm also a big fan of the evil Eren arc, where he's just kind of mean to Sora after finding out that she lied to him, and obviously Eren goes off at the end with Lord Ras, so, you know, set up for season 3, I suppose. I enjoyed both Eren and Sora during this chapter of Ninjago, and like I said, I am excited to see where those characters go in the future. I also really enjoyed Kai in season 2 part 2. His entrance in the final episode is still one of my favorite Kai moments probably ever. I loved that so much, and his battle with Noct afterwards, very good stuff. And speaking of the Forbidden Five, I mean, I think that they are still super intriguing, but I imagine a lot of that will be explored more in season 3 of Dragons Rising, when they are probably going to be the main villains. I also enjoyed a lot of the history established in this season too. I'm always a fan of Ninjago history and how things change with every passing season. I thought this season established a lot about the Source Dragons and the Source tournament itself, and I thoroughly enjoyed, yet again, more context and more history being added to the Ninjago mythos. That's always fun. Of course, there are some smaller things that I enjoy, some smaller things that I did not enjoy. All things considered though, Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2, after rewatching it again, is still a mixed bag in my opinion, and it kind of sucks because this was my most anticipated Ninjago entry in quite some time, and with how much I loved Season 2 Part 1, this just feels like a step down, but I thoroughly hope that Season 3 of Dragons Rising will be the Part 2 that I expected this Part 2 to be. I feel like Season 3 will be adopting a lot from Season 2 Part 1, fingers crossed, and resolving a lot of the buildup that was set up in that particular arc of Ninjago that Season 2 Part 2 really did not touch on all that much. I think there are still some good things to be found in Season 2 Part 2, and I know that I am definitely in the minority here when it comes to how people feel about this season. Like I said, this is still my least favorite Dragons Rising entry so far, and rewatching it officially on Netflix did not make me feel any differently, I suppose. So again, sorry to disappoint. I still feel like this chapter is a very mixed bag. And feel free to stick around because I will be posting my individual episode reviews very soon, and I will have a playlist dedicated to each of the episode reviews for Dragons Rising Season 2. So once again, be on the lookout for that if you would like to hear my thoughts on any individual episode. Thank you once again for watching, and be sure to check out Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2 officially on Netflix if you can, and leave all of your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed this one, feel free to like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. Peace.